What's up, lovely people? Welcome back to my channel. So based on the title, you know what I'm going to make, so let's just get straight to it. So what I'm going to do first is to make the boiled food. So right here I have a pot with some water, and to that I'm going to add some salt. After that, you want to cover your pot and allow it to come to a slight boil. I'm going to make some cornmeal dumpling. Now to make this, you will need cornmeal, all-purpose flour, and water. I know some of you probably wondering where's the salt. But listen, it's a personal preference and I no longer add salt to my dry ingredients when I'm making boiled dumpling. I added salt to the pot already. That's good enough for me. Plus whatever is it that I'm going to have this with is going to be packed with flavor. So there's no need to add any extra salt. Okay, but if you want to add salt, go right ahead. So for those that are not familiar with dumpling, you want to gradually add some water to your dry ingredients until you form like a firm dough. You don't want the dough to be too sticky, else it's going to be really difficult for you to form the dumplings. So a little fun fact about me, the first meal I prepared, I think I was 10 or 11, was boiled dumpling with stir-fry cabbage. And let me tell you, that was one of the sweetest meals I ever prepared. So to form the dumplings, you want to break a small piece of the dough, roll it in both palms of your hand, and then use your thumb or the side part of your thumb to kind of press in the middle, and that's dumpling. You can also make these a bit smaller if you want. So once you're done forming the dumplings, you want to add them to your pot and give it a good stir so they don't stick to the bottom. So you want to also half cover your pot because you don't want this to boil over, and you want to cook this over medium heat. Now I'm going to move on to preparing the pumpkin and the plantain, and I'm not going to add these right away. I'm going to give the dumplings about 10 minutes before I add the plantains and the pumpkin because these cook a little bit faster and you don't want them to mash out in the pot. And I'm keeping the skin on the pumpkin. I only remove like the defected areas. Make sure you give these a good rinse before you add them to the pot. And as I mentioned, we're giving the dumpling at least 10 minutes to go and boil before we add these because these cook a little bit faster, and as I mentioned, you don't want them to mash out in the pot. Make sure that you wash the plantain before you start peeling, and with all your grown provisions, make sure that you wash them before you peel and add them to your pot. So roughly 10 minutes of boiling the dumplings, I'm going to go in and add the plantain and the pumpkin, and you also want to give this about 10 more minutes to cook. So the plantains and the pumpkin will not take that long to cook, so cover your pot again over medium heat and give it another 10 minutes or so to cook. So in the meantime, I'm going to move on to the cabbage. So here I have all the ingredients. You will need about 1.5 of a medium-sized cabbage, about 1/4 of a white onion, 1 carrot, and 3 cloves of garlic. Make sure that you wash the cabbage before you start to cut it. You can choose to cut up your cabbage in whichever way that you prefer. I'm also going to add a small piece of scotch bonnet pepper without the seeds. So to a pot, you want to go ahead and add some oil, and I'm using some unrefined coconut oil. Once the oil is hot, you want to go ahead and add the onion, the scotch bonnet pepper, and the garlic. You want to allow this to saute for about a minute. After about a minute, you want to go ahead and add the carrots, and you want to allow these to saute for about 2 to 3 minutes or until the carrots are somewhat tender. At this point, I'm going to lightly season this by adding some all-purpose seasoning. Once the carrots are somewhat tender, add the cabbage, and you want to put up your heat to a medium-high heat at this point, and you want to constantly stir this. So at this point, I'm going to add some all-purpose seasoning and smoked paprika, and as I mentioned, you want to constantly stir this for about 10 minutes. So once your cabbage starts to look something like this, you know it's just about ready. And my cabbage is a bit still crunchy, and that's just the way I like it. If you want yours a bit softer, you can cook it for more time. So that's it for the cabbage. So now I'm going to move on to the baked beans. So here I have all the ingredients to saute the baked beans, and I will mention them as I go along. Normally I prefer to use the baked beans from back home because there's just something different about the Grace baked beans I get here, so I'm going to add some ketchup to it. So start by sauteing the garlic, the onion, and the scotch bonnet pepper. You want to allow this to saute for about 2 minutes before adding the baked beans. After about 2 minutes, you want to add the baked beans, followed by the ketchup, some all-purpose seasoning, and smoked paprika. Give this a good stir, cover your pot, and allow this to simmer down for about 5 minutes. So once you've added all those ingredients, you want to cover this and allow your baked beans to simmer down for about 5 minutes. And there you have it. Baked bean is ready to eat and it's looking amazing. So the boiled food been cooked. As you can tell, the pumpkin is nice and soft, but not too soft where it's mashing out in the pot. It's still whole, as well as the plantain. So here's the final plating, and this was so delicious. Thank you all so much for watching. Please remember to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe for some more recipes, and until next time, God bless.